Hi guys, my name is Ian Crew. I'm an instructor at the Joy of Dance Center in Toronto, Ontario, and the creator of SocialBallroom.Dance, where you can learn your dance at your place on your schedule. We're starting a new theme this month, something that's near and dear to my heart, motivation and inspiration in ballroom dancing. Specifically, we're looking at the mindset for a successful ballroom dancer. You know, what causes dancers to succeed and continue with their craft for years, while others might give up after only a few weeks or months. And I'm not talking about people who, consciously decide to put their energy into another pursuit. There's going to be, of course, lots of people who try ballroom dancing and decide, you know what, ballroom dancing music, not my thing. I'd rather do something else. Or maybe they decide I'd rather dance by myself, and they end up getting into ballet or hip hop or contemporary or just dancing alone in their living room. And power to them. That's beautiful. We're looking at the people who believe that ballroom dancing has something to offer them, but for some reason they stop themselves. So why is it that some people are able to continue and others seem to just give up? Now, in my experience, I've seen that there's 5 essential ingredients that every ballroom dancer absolutely needs if they're going to succeed and get what they want from dancing. And I'd like to introduce you to 2 different mindsets on this. We have a static mindset versus the active mindset. Now, these are broad definitions, of course, and you might be somewhere in the middle between, but just to give you a way of comparing 2 different approaches. We'll start with the first ingredient, which is self-knowledge. The static mindset makes a lot of their actions on impulse. They haven't taken the time to really think about why they do what they do. So it's very difficult for them to reliably devote themselves to an unfamiliar cause. And I say unfamiliar because when we are trying to do something that's out of our comfort zone, it often brings up parts of ourselves that we don't know very well. And that can be a scary experience for some people. But we'll talk more about that in a couple of weeks. On the other hand, the more active mindset has taken that time to look through or explore that mental landscape. They understand, or have taken time to reflect on why they do the things that they do, and they have a strong emotional connection to the principles that guide them. This allows them to be much more consistent when they decide to pursue something, because they already know whatever internal demons they're going to have to face and how to overcome them. Then we have motivation. So the static mindset will approach motivation from the standpoint of, well, I've seen ballroom dancing and there's something in there that I like. Maybe they saw Dancing with the Stars, or they went to a Latin dance club and they saw this really cool dancer, and there was this sense of something in this, there's something there that I want, and they want to explore it. But they, again, haven't thought very deeply about what specifically that thing is. So they go into their lessons with more of a vague sense of what they want, rather than a specific idea. Meanwhile, the more active mindset has, again, taken that time to reflect on what exactly about ballroom dancing moves them, And when they go in for their lessons, they're going to be able to convey that, which will help guide the lessons towards that goal. Then we have persistence, which the first 2 help build into. The static mindset encounters something that's difficult for them, and they say, well, maybe ballroom dancing is maybe I'm just not cut out for this. And they don't really have a lot of reason to keep pushing through because they haven't spent that time to learn about it. And as we said before, with the active mindset, because they've taken that time to reflect on these things, they have a drive to continue that is stronger than the temptation to quit. These are closely connected with belief, which is the 4th ingredient. If the static mindset doesn't have that underlying belief, they tend to not put 100% of their effort into the things that they're doing. There's this underlying feeling that, well, I don't really know if I'm going to ever be the dancer that I want to be. So I'm not going to waste 100% of my energy trying to get there, because why would I bother if I'm not going to succeed anyways? Meanwhile, the active mindset believes that they can have the ballroom dancing dream that they want, so they're going to push themselves that much harder. They're going to give 100% of their energy in order to achieve that. This all feeds into the final and fifth agreement, which is inspiration. See, a static mindset will look at a fabulous dancer and they will say, wow, I wish I could do something like that, but I know I can't. Where an active mindset looks at a fabulous dancer and says, wow, what are they doing and how can I learn that and incorporate it into my own dancing so I can look just as good or better? You see, they let the vision of what's to come inspire them rather than discourage them. So broadly speaking, the static mindset tends to be more safety-based. You know, it's found this comfortable area that it wants to stay in, and because it wants to stay there, it comes up with excuses that validate its inaction. Meanwhile, the active mindset takes a more growth-based approach. It believes that there is something better out there and that it can have it. So it's looking to stretch and expand and take on new skills in order to achieve that thing that it wants. Now, this isn't to say that if you have a static mindset on one of these ingredients that you must be static throughout your whole life. Like, we can often have a static mindset on one ingredient but be very active on another. So, a couple of examples. Maybe I believe that I can be a great dancer, but on a subconscious level, because I don't have that self-knowledge, I haven't taken that time to understand, how my past experiences maybe have affected me. I have these other beliefs deep down inside that are pulling in the opposite direction. Or you might have somebody who, they have the motivation. They really want to have this thing, but they find that it's really hard for them to develop the persistence. They find it's very difficult for them to push through these more difficult periods, because again, there's something there that's blocking them. We can spot the ingredients that give us the most trouble, and we can train our mind to change from a static to an active mindset. We're not stuck in any one place. I have always believed that, and I always will. Now, a big part of getting there is learning to love the process of improving ourselves, because we get so often focused on a destination, and we forget to appreciate and enjoy all the growth that's required to get there. And then when we get there, often we end up reaching for the next thing and the next thing. We keep thinking, well, once I have that, I'm going to be happy. Once I have that thing now, I'll be happy. But we've trained ourselves to be constantly looking for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Well, we're going to go deeper into that for next week. So I look forward to seeing you then. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to message me on my Facebook fan page, Ballroom Dancers Anonymous, or you can email me at ian@SocialBallroom.Dance. Again, that's ian@SocialBallroom.Dance. I look forward to seeing you next week, and until then, happy dancing.